If you're taking a thyroid prescription, your labs look better, and yet you still don't feel better, you still feel exhausted, foggy, anxious, or stuck with your weight, this video is for you. Because here's the truth most people never get told. Thyroid medication can be necessary and still not be enough. And if that sounds like you, I want to explain why this happens. I'm going to walk you through 3 common reasons that may be keeping you stuck. I'm Dr. Avery Carpenter. I've spent nearly 2 decades working with autoimmune thyroid disease, and I've heard this exact problem thousands of times. Someone is told that they have hypothyroidism, they're given a prescription, and they assume that should fix the symptoms. When it doesn't, they start thinking something's wrong with them. But the problem isn't you. The problem is that we're treating one piece of a much bigger system. Here's the first thing to understand. Thyroid medication fixes one problem and only one problem. It replaces a hormone that your body isn't making enough of, and that's it. And if that happens to be your one and only problem, you'll feel like that prescription is a miracle. But many of the symptoms that people blame on low thyroid, like fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, hair changes, anxiety, these can come from other systems that could still be off. For example, chronic stress and cortisol dysregulation, poor cellular energy production, inflammation, immune activation. And remember, if you have Hashimoto's and you're taking a thyroid prescription, that prescription doesn't stop the Hashimoto's. The Hashimoto's just keeps working away in the background, destroying your thyroid gland. And another potential cause can be blood sugar instability. This is very common in Hashimoto's and can cause fatigue, hair loss, weight gain, and anxiety, all the things that you would assume would be thyroid. So if those things haven't been addressed, you can be on the right prescription and still not feel better. Humans are not simple machines. We're more like finely tuned Ferraris. Lots of systems have to work together for us to actually feel good. And sometimes the replacement hormone is necessary. But the bigger win is correcting the things that make the system break in the first place. The next big issue that I see is most people are not having the whole thyroid pathway evaluated in their labs. When someone says, I have low thyroid and I'm on medication, they usually mean this. My TSH was high, maybe my T4 was low, and then they're given Synthroid or levothyroxine. End of story. But that's like saying the light in my room went out, so I replaced the light bulb. Sure, that's logical, but if you change the bulb and it still doesn't work, that means the bulb wasn't the issue. You have to look at other parts of the system. Is the power out? Is the fixture damaged? Is the switch broken? Did a squirrel chew through the wiring? The thyroid system works the same way. There are multiple steps that all have to work properly for you to feel good, and the answer isn't always more Synthroid. So what's one very common pathway that gets missed? T3. Here's something a lot of people don't realize. T4, the hormone that your thyroid makes most of, and the hormone that's in most prescriptions, is largely inactive. T4 has to be converted into T3, and T3 is the active hormone that drives energy, makes you feel good. If that conversion isn't happening, you can be swallowing T4 every day, your labs can improve, and you still won't feel better. That's because the hormone that you need isn't reaching its active form. And yes, this underconversion pattern is more common in people with Hashimoto's. And there's also another layer that almost no one talks about, and it's the brain's role. Your pituitary gland lives right up here, and it produces that TSH that you get tested. That's the signal that tells your thyroid what to do. This is part of what's often called the HPA axis. If signaling from the pituitary is off because of chronic stress or inflammation or just you're in long-term survival mode, you can end up with thyroid problems that aren't fully fixed by just taking a prescription. And I want to share a quick story because this is exactly what I see in practice. I worked with a woman in my Hasha Healing Code program who was really struggling. She had brain fog and joint pain. She was exhausted. She was irritable. And she's a doctor herself. She told me, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm doing all the things. I can't figure out what I'm missing. And she tried everything she knew to try. She'd even seen several other doctors, and she was honestly scared about what her future might look like. When we got her labs back, and I assessed her thyroid pathways more thoroughly, we found a missing piece that explained why she wasn't improving. So we made a simple adjustment to her plan. Within 4 days, she messaged me and she asked, is it possible to feel good this fast? I have so much more energy. She felt more joyful, more patient. Her staff, her family noticed, and she even started running again. And then she said something really important. She said, there's a lot they don't teach in medical school. This opened my eyes to what we don't normally look for. So if you're taking a thyroid prescription and you don't feel better, what I want you to know is this. There are answers. And I don't want you to settle for your labs are normal when your life is telling you otherwise. And if you're someone who actually feels worse on a thyroid medication, that's a whole other video. So stay tuned for that one. If this helps you make sense of some things for you, I'd be grateful if you hit like and subscribe. It helps more than you know. I'll see you next time.